November 12th, 2023, and we're going to interview Marianne Bretthauer. And this is our grandma. This is Matthew Wiesk and
Sam Wiesk. Do you want to start by telling us when you were born, where you were born?
Okay. Yes, I'm Marianne Bretthauer. I was born July 22nd, 1940, right when in the middle of World War II. I have two sisters who are older than I was. One was 17 years older, Marta, and one was 15 years older, Irmgard, and one brother, Helmut. He was born in 1935. Both my sisters passed away. My oldest sister, when she was only 47. My second sister in 2005.
So when you grew up, that was during the war.
Right.
So that must have been very challenging, right?
It was just to think back.
Do you have any recollection of?
Oh yeah, I had a very nice childhood. Most of my friends that I know, I played with when I was little. They are all refugees from other areas of, which is now Poland. And the only thing I remember that playing with my friends and not really missing anything, even though my mother always told me there was no food.
Yeah.
My mother, she would wash clothes for the Americans, and that's how they survived. They would, like I said, there was no food available. They would barter.
Yeah.
You know, she would wash the clothes for the Americans. They would get the money, and then were able to buy. They would be able to buy.
Whatever they needed.
There was actually no food available. And since we had always a garden, my parents would always have enough food because of that. My dad was always working in the garden too.
Did you have any animals in the garden, or just?
We always had chicken, so we would always have eggs. Helmut, the interesting story is even Helmut was always looking out to make sure that we were having food. For instance, what he did is he would go out and if was a chicken, he would take the chicken maybe, and then he would have another one. And I remember watching him taking the eggs, and he put them in like an incubator, and all of a sudden we had 5-6 eggs. That's how, out of one egg, you know.
Then the chicken would grow up and it would have more eggs.
Exactly, and that's how we had eggs all the time.
And then so you didn't really use money back then, right? You would barter?
I played with millions because there was inflation.
So instead you would barter when you would,
right.
if you have a lot of eggs, you would trade them for something else.
Right. We had rabbits, chicken, and then since we lived right beside my aunts, they always had a pig, and once a year they would. I saw all that.
They would kill it.
They
once
would
a year,
once a year they would kill the.
and everyone would eat it.
Yeah.
Just eat the pig.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
And I had, even though it was a difficult time, I didn't realize it was difficult. It's my parents who got us through.
Yeah. Do you think they were like it was traumatic for them, or
Yes.
because I remember you were telling me there was bombings.
Yes.
But then you had to go to a shelter at one time.
All the
Are-
time.
Are those your memories, or is that what they would tell you about
No,
it?
no. My memories is that almost every night the sirens would go off, and then the sirens meant, okay, another bombing. And there was a bunker where you have been. Here was our house, and it was right by where the forest starts. There was a bunker in there. And we would, when my parents, either, it depends on how the sirens were, either they were close by, or, and it usually happened at night, okay, out to the bunker, you know.
How many people would go to the bunker?
All the people that had lived in the area.
Must have been pretty big.
Hmm?
Like 100?
Big bunker.
Yeah.
And did
For instance, if the house had a basement, then they would go into the basement. It depends how close they were. For instance, my one uncle's house was bombed, and he would stand up on whatever. There was nothing left after the bomb went in, and he was standing on the waist, and he said, "Vielen Dank, mein Führer."
Yeah.
Yeah, "Vielen Dank, mein Führer."
like mein Führer, like talking to who?
Hitler.
Like he was like, thanks for that, Hitler.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And my other aunt, she was bombed too. And the sad story was the night before, she said she always stayed in the house in the bunker. That night she said, let's go to the neighbor's house. And she never said that before. And her house was bombed, and another lady, a woman, and her little son, they were looking for protection. They were just walking, and those two were killed, and my aunt and her son, they survived. So,
Which aunt was that? Tantalina?
Tandalina. She was 103 when she passed away.
How many aunts and uncles did you have?
My mother there were 11 children, and they were all in the same area. That was the best part. I had, in just around that area, I counted all the people that I know from just my relatives, about 350.
Wow.
I had 35 cousins.
And you knew, like, you
All
were
of them.
close with them?
Yeah.
You know all their names?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was like your community?
Yeah, it was all relatives. And whenever we went down the street later on, then my mother said, oh, we were related to them too. I never could figure out all the relatives they were, and now they're all gone.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. So since I was the youngest one of all the relatives, I'm the only one basically, and Helmut.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure they had kids, right?
Oh yeah, and I would go by this in the street, and I would say, oh, he's related to you. And over the years, since I've been away for so long, I know them, but I was 20 years there. So I knew them, but, I would, okay, this is whoever, but I just didn't know them.
Yeah, you weren't really really close with all.
Yeah, I was close with the cousins.
Do you have any like fun memories from when you were living in Germany when you were a kid, or like what was your favorite just thing to do to go
Did you
out
ever
and do?
encounter a goose by chance?
Yes, I did. I had really a lot of fun as a kid, and at Helmut he was not only very high energy young, like for instance when I was born, and then they said, oh, you have another, to my sister Martha, they said, oh, you have another little boy, and my sister said, it can't be. We don't want another one like Helmut. Really, because apparently he was just known, for instance, my mother would go to the streetcar, and then the people along the way, they said, oh my God, not him. He was honestly creating a lot of trouble for my mother.
He was a menace.
Yeah, menace.
Yeah.
For instance, I mean, you know the house where the bakery was, right? Irmgard was supposed to take care of him, and she didn't. Well, he made sure that she paid for it.
What did he do?
How?
He, it was 4-story house. He would sit up all on the roof and scream, "She left me alone!" And okay, did she get in trouble? Yeah.
Did she leave him alone, or was he making it up? Oh.
Well, did she leave him alone? I really don't know. But
he
that's
was always
her.
causing trouble.
Always causing trouble. And people, when they saw him, were, oh no. That's why my sister said, no, can't be. And then the story was always that, when they said, oh, another boy is born, and then the nurse said, okay, if you're so sure that it couldn't be a boy, then let me look again, And she said, you're right, it's a girl. So they always said, oh, she got mixed up with another family.
And it was Omi.
It was Omi.
So I don't know if they exchanged me or what, I honestly don't know.
Why did they name you Marianne?
Why did they mean, my dad wanted me to be Ingrid, and my mother wanted Marianne. Which I didn't know in front of every city hall in France. There's Marianne, the symbol of Marianne. She combs her hair. That's, I guess,
just like you.
Hmm?
Just like you.
Combs her hair.
Or she's always obsessed with her hair.
And my mother wanted me to be Marianne. My dad wanted to be Ingrid. And my mother didn't want me to be Ingrid because, you make direction, or something, he would call me Gretchen, and that she didn't like that name, so my mother won.
Yeah. Yay, I'm glad.